Today's video, we're going to show you how to fix your slice in under 3 minutes. But it's going to take us a minute or two more than that to tell you how to do it. Sean, let's first define what causes a slice. Just from the golf ball's perspective, what happens down by the golf ball that will make that ball shrimp out, as Johnny Miller says, hit the big shrimp out to the right?
Yeah, so the reason that happens is, assuming we're hitting somewhere near the middle of the face, the face would be open to the path of the club at impact.
Right, so every club we swing in golf, whether it's putter, wedge, whatever, driver, it all has a path it's moving on as it, we'll say, a foot in front of the ball. Has a path it's moving on in 3D space, and then it has a face relationship to that.
And that's golf, right?
That's golf. That's how well we manage those two things really determine where this golf ball goes and determines, in a lot of cases, how much fun we have playing.
Exactly. And
So-
the slice is no fun.
Right, so when that path is moving, let's use your club here. When that path is moving, we'll say straight at the camera, and this face is now open to the path, that's gonna be a slice, right? This face can be square, but the path could be moving way over here, which is a really common slice move. That ball's gonna start a little bit left and shrimp out there to the right, or in to out, same thing. So it's any path, any face that's open to any given path that's gonna create that slice on the ball.
And some balls you see start way left, some balls you see start straight, and
Right.
some balls you can see start the right, but they're all curving in that direction.
Away from the target.
Exactly right.
All right, so that's what a slice is. That's what the golf ball sees, right? Doesn't know if it's Tiger Woods swinging it or if it's a brand new beginner for the first time. If you present those elements to the golf ball, it's gonna slice.
That's right.
So let's talk about the lowest hanging fruit to fix that.
I think it's normally to go after the club face first is a way to attack this problem
Sure.
in the correct order, right?
And by that you mean, when you say go at the club face,
So we know that the golf swing takes about 1 second,
right?
and we've got about a quarter of a second on the downswing from top of the downswing to
Right.
the ball. So there's not a lot of time to orient his face.
That's right.
So what we've had great results with over the years with golfers is getting them at the top of the swing to have what you would kind of consider a squarish face,
Right.
and then start making sure that on the way down that you start rotating the face down toward the golf ball.
That's right. And we'll use our fangs here, our tape tees onto our putter face to kind of represent that. And it's a concept, right, that really gives a lot of golfers difficulty because, especially when you're new to the game, you have to think about that for a second. You have to think about all of the moves that happen in the golf swing. Well, the club is always going to be moving faster than we can think. So if we're thinking, okay, I've know enough about golf now to square the face. Okay, I'm open, I'm coming down. All right, boom, try to square the face down here. That will, if you give that command down in this area, it's gonna maybe happen over here.
That is a great point. There is a delay. From
There
the
is a
time
delay.
You start thinking and sending that signal to your muscles to the time that can actually take
Again,
place.
You're thinking, okay, I'm starting my downswing. I'm doing all of the downswing moves, okay? This club isn't waiting for all that. Now you think, okay, start my downswing, now I'm gonna square the face. It's too late.
Yeah, a lot of times I'll take somebody's club, let's say the golfer is set up here. I'll come in and kind of get their club and start having them feel.
That's right.
And their hands are still on it, and I'm twisting it. They're like, that can't be right. I'm
Yeah.
like, well, it is right because you have to feel this here in order for it to show up at impact.
This is the fastest move. Hopefully, it's the fastest moving club in the bag.
Yeah.
Which gives us even less time to react. And I think another concept that golfers don't often realize is I can do something, again, this is under load during the swing. I can do something on the grip end of the club that does not show up in real time. So let's say, okay, my hands do start squaring the club face before impact. This end of the club won't be doing it.
There's another delay.
There's another delay with this shaft twist under load. So you've really got to be starting squaring it up here, way up at the top, for it to show up right here.
Yeah.
If you think down here I'm going to square the face, it's not going to happen by the time the club touches the ball.
And if you're really struggling with this, we've got a lot of videos. We need to maybe take a look at your grip strength, make sure your hands are in the right place, and make sure at the top that you make the fist with the left hand.
That's right.
But if you've got things pretty sorted there and you still fighting the slice, a lot of times it's just because from the top, you may even be opening the face in an attempt to get some lag.
That's right.
And we see golfers trying to pull down and get a lot of lag, and they think that this kind of Sergio Garcia angle is going to really help
If you
them.
watch golf on TV, and we hope everyone does, because you're going to see the best players in the world
Yeah.
play, you're going to hear some odd things from announcers from time to time. One of those is, you know, you need to create lag to hit the ball farther. Well, when golfers see that, this is all the time what they go to. It's this cupping of the left wrist so I can keep this shaft close to my shoulder. That's lag. Well, what it does is keep this club face wide open. So any increase in lag you get, you give right back with an open club face.
And the glancing blow.
Glancing blow, the shrimp to the
Hitting
right.
down too much.
Yes.
So that idea and concept of lag can really cause some issues with the face.
Right, lag will come from a better golf swing.
Absolutely. Good grip, better golf swing, you'll get your
Right.
lag. So to tie it all back in,
Yeah, let's put some things on your club. Just electrical tape, white tape, anything to hold two T's in place. And you get the club up here to the top. Start getting these T's, these fangs to point into the ground. Way sooner. Don't let this club pass your torso right here with them pointing out here. And again, you're in real speed, if you like to film your swing, you can be trying to do all this, but again, there's this lag here. So when you're practicing, try to get this club face pointing right here, because we're trying to fix your slice, which means this club face isn't operating correctly. So we want to kind of shock the system, get it closing way up here, save all these last minute moves for somebody else. Don't be this guy. You want to be able to relax down here, not have to fire everything
less
else.
thinking.
It's less thinking, more doing, earlier doing. Don't fall prey to the golf swing isn't timing. The golf swing is all timing. And
It's when you put things in.
You've got to do it sooner rather than later. Now, let's talk about the second piece to curing the slice. All right, Sean, the second piece really dovetails and builds on when we talked about squaring the face earlier just a second ago. Now we're talking about what actually has to happen to make that club face square earlier. You've got a really expensive way to do this.
Yeah, it's a coat hanger. This one's a little bit more fancy. Wally Armstrong, he's been teaching golf for many years, and he had an infomercial when I was a little kid, and this coat hanger was on there. I was probably 8 years old, and I'm still using it. I had one then, and I'm still teaching it now because it was such a valuable training aid.
But, you know, we appreciate it if you support Wally, but you can go pull one of these right out of your closet.
Yeah, and tape it to your club.
Tape it to your club. Again, tape on the face, tape to this is going to cure your slice.
Yeah, so here's the thought process here, and you know this can be used a lot of different ways. And one of the ways is when you cock your wrist on the backswing, it should basically still be touching your left arm. That's one checkpoint to give
Do
you.
that with just your left arm only so they can see.
There.
So show when it doesn't. So there's a cup in this left wrist. It's the one we want to avoid.
It's open.
We want to keep the the coat hanger on the forearm. It's going to be a pretty flat.
Yeah, and you might feel a little pressure on it just to
Yeah.
make sure it's flat, and you might not have ever felt that before.
That's right.
And it doesn't need to be bowed. Actually, I think bowing it can cause some problems where the golfer will undo the wrist
Yes,
on the downswing.
absolutely.
So I just like it neutral. It might be a tiny bit cupped depending on your grip.
We do not see tour players. There are, of course, everybody's
There
going
are
to say
some.
Dustin Johnson. There are
Yeah.
some. That's a very difficult way to do it physically.
It's an outlier
for a lot
kind
of
of
golfers.
thing.
We don't see the vast majority of touring professionals bowing the wrist. They have it fairly flat to slightly cut.
We love plain vanilla neutral.
Yes,
We just
neutral's
think
a
it's
great
an
place to
easy
play
way to
from.
live. So flattish, you got some pressure on the
Mm-hmm.
arm here. So I'm starting to feel like when it stays on the arm, I can turn the face down a little. Now, that's not the end of it.
No.
Because I could just drag this through and the
And it's
face is still
wide
open.
Still out there to right
So
field.
what are we missing, right? And I think in an attempt to remove the arms from the swing, and to not flip, golfers think that there's no rotation in the arms, and
That's
that's not right. In good players, there's about 180 degrees of left arm supination from the time the club is about waist high to waist high on the other side. So you can see the last part of this is letting this entire coat hanger get on top again, right? Or rotate to get on top of the club. And you can see what happens. When I do that, that adds that last bit of squaring, gives you that professional kind of extended look here. And if you try to hold your arms square without any rotation, that's when you start getting
and I
this
think, again,
scoop.
because there's a lag of what you do to the grip into the club, to what happens down here. We've all seen images where it doesn't, where it looks like there's been no rotation, right? But especially with irons, you gotta factor in the collision with the ground. When these guys take these big divots, that club head is essentially stopping. The body is continuing to move. So if the camera, I hit the ground, the camera snaps this, people think, well, that's what I gotta be doing. Right? That's
Absolutely.
not the case. That golfer is still, boom, supinating that forearm through. It's just, he happened to hit a very big ball to stop all that momentum, and you snap the camera there, and then that's what everybody tries to do.
And I think another, we talk about poor concepts ruin more swings than anything else, right? So if the face is square here and the golfer has an attempt to keep it square, thinking that that's going to help, that ball's going to the right.
Yes.
So what you want to feel is a constant kind of rotation in the face, which actually be square to the arc, and you may have heard that in a few more videos, but this face is rotating, and the way that happens, yes, it happens some from the wrist, right? But remember, get this thing and moving through the shot with some supination or kind of the hand going from back of the hand to the camera here to palm. If you kind of learn that motion, and that makes it really easy to square the face.
I like to use the analogy of shaking hands, and I'll do this if I was a left-handed golfer. Backswing, I'll shake the hand of the camera. Through swing, I'll shake the hand of the target.
Another way to think about
And
it.
it's just that simple. Now you start adding body rotation, you start getting all of those classic good golf player looks, but it's these individual movements that have to be in there to instill all that.
So you got a couple ways to go after this, right?
That's right.
And we were really long-winded for what was supposed to be a 3-minute video.
3-minute fix.
But
Yes.
if you go to the range and put down 10 balls,
Yes.
and you thought about having a good grip, make sure it's in the fingers.
I'm glad you mentioned the grip. Let's go back to the top when you had this pressure on the coat hanger. So he's got this part of the club right. If this club face is still wide open, he doesn't have a good grip.
That's a great point.
So we want to make sure if he's doing the right stuff on this end of the club, that club face is square. And by that, we want this leading edge kind of matching his forearm plane here.
And if you, from your camera angle where the viewer is now, if you start seeing that club face on the other side of the shaft, you've got problems.
You got a problem. It can be a little stronger, especially if you're a slicer. That's fine. But we don't want that toe sagging down when you have pressure on this coat hanger.
So once you get that kind of sorted, you're making sure you're turning the face down early, right?
Yes,
that'll get you kind of halfway into the downswing.
Get the fangs start seeing the ground much earlier.
Yep, and now still, you're not done.
Not done.
You've got to kind of freewheel this release and let this left arm kind of roll and supinate, right? Without doing it this way, the whole shaft kind of continues through because of good body motion. This gets on top, you get that professional look here, and through the bottom you square the face. If you do that, those two things within 10 balls, you might hit some pulls.
Right, which is fine.
Because you've got the face.
You're getting the face squared to
Exactly.
the path.
Now that's a whole different set of issues, but now you're more incentivized to swing from the inside.
Right. So the progression, start with the club face first. That might be all you need.
Could be.
All right. Then if that's still, you're still seeing the slice first, then let's start to add some supination. We don't want you, if you already have a lot of supination in your swing, think, I need more, and really start to swashbuckle this thing down here by the ball. So start with the progression. Start first with the club face earlier, right? That's going to clean up a lot of you guys. You're going to be done after that. If you still need more, start thinking about how this coat hanger now works coming through the golf ball.
Yeah, and use your coat hanger. Practice at home. Put it up here, on top again. The coat hanger stays on top of the club. You've got a pretty good sense of where that club face is, and it almost acts as if you couldn't hit it to the right if you did it correctly.
Right.
You can't slice
You should
it
start
from
seeing
there.
balls move this direction rather than weak ones out that direction. Let us know what you think in the comments down below. If we need to expand on anything, we'll be happy to do it, but this will take care of your slice. If you'd like more distance instantly, we put together a video just for that. All you need to do to get that video is click on the link below in the first pinned comment. We'll ask for your name, your email, and we'll send it out to you immediately.
If you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Once you do that, click on notifications so you know when we have a brand new video coming out right away.
Right, we want to make this channel's content just for you guys, just for your golf game. So leave us some comments down below if you'd like to see something that we haven't already covered or want to see it covered in a different way. We'll do our best to get that for you as soon as we can. And don't forget, if you want to hit the ball farther, click the link below in the first pinned comment.
Get you some instant distance.
Instant.